It is a Wednesday here on the Green Zone. That means it is time for Premier's Picks. And he's on the line, Premier Brad Wall, who the only tweet since that unfortunate banjo video went to the airwaves was congrats to the Bombers. Their defense played especially great. Ouch, #CFL. That's Premier Brad Wall. That's the only explaining you have to do for motivating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders last Sunday?
Jamie, I just want to thank you so much for, I think, the very first tweet you put out after the game as a veteran sports journalist. Nothing to do with the game, nothing to do with analysis with respect to the defense on either side or the quarterbacks. It was, everybody blame Brad. And I want to tell you that you've got at least a few followers because there was we've got a few very, very creative tweets. So thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it. Fellow Raiders fan and all, appreciate it.
Did you hear my pick for the Super Bowl? I hope not. Because I picked the Denver Broncos to be in the Super Bowl this year.
It's just disappointment on disappointment, really. It's kind of numb, James, just numb.
Premier, how impressed have you been with the response from that video? As you tweeted before the game, you always dreamed to be on TSN Sports Center, but actually playing a sport, not a banjo.
Well, it was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. I think 130,000 views on YouTube. Sadly, 7 of those views were the front 7 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I'm pretty sure.
I loved it, Premier. I thought it was outstanding. And, hey, anytime we can promote and get people excited about coming to gather at their park, and in this case it was in Winnipeg, but it's happened, as we know, in many in Mosaic the weekend before, and have all the fans get behind their team. And it helps when all our politicians are involved too, and I love it.
Thanks, Glenn. Well, it did add a bit of hype. I think it did that. Premier Selinger's comeback out the 13th man was also very solid. Yeah. And again, after the game, the Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans are pretty fired up, and not a few Rider fans as well to send some tweets. You know what? They were tweeting about the CFL. You're right in the middle of the first full Sunday of the NFL, so which I like too. I mean, I heard you in the broadcast, Glenn. I'm with you. I like both leagues, but boy, it's kind of nice when the CFL gets a bit of excitement going. So timing is everything. We'll see if there is a next year. Timing will be everything.
Well, last week in the Premier's Picks, Premier Wall, it's similar to the 8-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders versus the 1-8 Winnipeg Blue Bombers when it comes to you and the King Gary Nickel. But the King went 3-1 last week, and you went 1-3.
I know, and he did this without the coin. Is that correct?
All by himself. Gary Nickel, very, very impressive to make these picks all by your lonesome and still end up 3-1.
Well,
I think we're forgetting about the most important part here, fellas. The fact that I also went on the line with the coin just to get rid of all the coin rumors. I said, you know what, flip the coin, and I would have been 4-0 if I would have got screwed with the air quotes by the coin.
That's true. That's very true.
The coin picked Saskatchewan for you, didn't it? I forgot about that.
So you can just go ahead and toss away that asterisk now, I think.
Would you have picked Winnipeg?
Oh, of course not. But if the coin would have, I would have wrote it all the way to that 4-0. By second, it would have been 4-0.
All I know is that since you brought on Triple H to the show and his music, his entrance music, you've been dominating. So I'm going to reach back into the Mean Gene Okerlund tapes and see what I can find.
Perfect. Nothing would make me happier, Mr. Premier.
I'll tell you what, this entire season, as we get to the picks, I think this week is the most difficult week of picks in the CFL. I'm very interested to see where we go because there are some pretty good matchups. Let's start off, Premier Wall, the 4-1 Hamilton Tiger Cats since the bye against the 4-1 Calgary Stampeders against the bye. In Calgary, both these teams have outscored their opponents by 10 points in those 5 games. Who are you going with? The two hottest teams.
Is Bo Levi playing quarterback? Is it QB spot? Do we know?
Suits?
Not finalized, but at this point, I would say it's better chance that it'll be Bo.
Okay, I got to go with the Stamps at home at McMahon. Stamps for me.
Gary Nickel?
Well, then I will take the Tiger Cats because I'm ferocious right now. I'm hungry for a win. and I'm going to catch up and
he's back to being contrarian. This is good for Brad.
There it is.
So we go from the two hottest teams since the bye week to the toilet bowl in Edmonton. That is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against the Edmonton Eskimos. Premier Wall, will you give props to the Bombers and pick them this week in Edmonton?
No, I won't. I'm going to go with the Eskimos. A couple of good defenses, and I think the nod goes to Riley at QB. I'm going to go with the Eskimos at home.
The King, Gary Nickel, your pick.
I am taking the Bombers. I'm making my move, Jamie. This is it. This is my week.
Or it could be devastation. We'll see how it works.
Either way, I'm used to it.
Full disclosure, the Premier has Saskatchewan against the Toronto Argonauts, of course.
So how many days has Abraham got left on the 9 game, by the way?
3 games. He's got the next 3, yeah.
Okay,
then he's
when
back.
You want to know, you know what? When you want to know about football in the province, you go to the Green Zone. They got all the information.
And
so true.
Gary Nickel, what do you got? Toronto at Saskatchewan.
Well, who is all out for Toronto again? Is it like every single one of their stars?
Ricky Ray, Chad Owens, doubtful. Cackert may be back. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to go with the Riders because I don't want to get too crazy. I'm not going to be the Razor Ramon bad guy just yet.
Razor Ramon. Oh, he's pulling out the references here now, Jamie.
Yeah, that's why we
rules on the show.
That's why we have to bring this to a conclusion as quickly as possible. Montreal at BC. Gary, you can go first. I made the Premier go first the last couple of times.
Yes, you did. I am going to go ahead and take BC.
I'm with him. British Columbia.
There you are.
There you have it.
And by the way, who do the Rams play this week, Jamie? Do you know?
The Rams.
The Huskies are in Calgary playing the Dinos. I'm going with I think Dave Dubé's right. I think we should add some CIS fun here. I'm going to go with the Huskies in Calgary for the upset. Well, might not be that big of an upset this year. And who do the Rams got? Who do the Rams have?
They have the Alberta Golden Bears.
Oh yeah. The quarterback for Alberta has had he had a great game against Manitoba. I think there's hope in U of A, but not this week. Rams and Huskies.
There you have it. Premier Brad Wall. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
As Gary Nickel making the charge in Premier's picks as the King is trying to chase down the Premier.